Biggie Small, thanks for joining. Am I loud and clear enough? Big Chief, can you hear me? Alhaj Mujidat, thanks for joining. Okay, God bless you, sir. I am married, but yet I feel single. And when you feel single in your marriage, I believe that also means one feeling trapped. This has nothing to do with gender. A man can be married and feel single, and also can a woman be married and yet feel single. Now, one of the things, I'm not going to go in any particular order. One of the things I believe strongly from research, from personal experience, that could make you feel that you're married and yet you're single in your marriage is a foundational problem. When I say foundational problem, I'm talking about when two of you have different goals. The man has a different goal, different reason why they want to get married to you. The wife also has a different goal, different targets. And we've come to realize and understand that at some point in the marriage, when that goal is fulfilled or where the goal is not fulfilled, then the person becomes to detach themselves emotionally because why their purpose has been achieved and they do not see the reason why they want to continue to be in that marriage. They don't want to leave, or they're finding a way to leave. Okay, so they begin to show it in their action, in their behavior, and in everything. And the other party begins to sense it, begins to feel it, begin to understand that something is wrong. Now, we could have any other reasons. I have a couple written down, and there could be more. But the main one for me is the foundational one. When the two parties have different purpose why they got married in the first place. For instance, if a man or a woman chooses to marry you just because they want to regularize their stay in a particular country, the moment that purpose is achieved, there is a tendency that they begin to misbehave or act out that my purpose is achieved, I'm done. Then there is a sense of emptiness that comes into play. And then that will also begin to bring up about different things. For instance, it could bring up a lack of respect. They do not see the reason why they want to be there anymore. They don't want to be in the marriage anymore. So somebody who probably when the woman will serve you food, naturally it will serve you with love, with care, with respect. But now when they bring the food, they just drop it on the table, or they even ask you to go and get your food yourself. This respect begins to come into play. Why? Purpose has been achieved. Or it could also be because they've given themselves a certain time, maybe in 3 months and 6 months, this is what I want to achieve in this marriage. And it's not been achieved, and it's almost 1 year. They begin to lose interest. So it is very, very paramount that before we begin to go into the union of marriage, that we both have a very, very good understanding, that we both have a clear vision, have a clear understanding before we go into play without deceiving each other. But then when the seed comes into play, then and you get married when the other party is deceiving you, because if you have an interior motive, then it's a play of deceit. And definitely at some point in the marriage, the other party will not be able to pretend so much anymore. And the other person begins to feel like, am I actually in a marriage? Am I still single? But they begin to see a lot of attributes that tells them, I think I'm a joke in this marriage. Oludayo, thanks for joining. Someone's crush. Thanks for joining. Kenny, Kevin, thank you. Vicky, John, thanks for joining. Okay, I'm going to go to lack of respect can come in different play in so many ways. Lack of respect will also make a woman be talking to other men right in front of his husband, and they'll be like, can't you see that I'm standing right and you're talking to a man like that? And she'll be like, and so? Because why? She wants to be out of that marriage. So she can't be bothered. She begins to live as though she is not in a marriage. We all understand that the moment you get married, there's some certain things you drop, you stop. There are some friends you cut yourself from automatically. There are some friends you keep at arm's length. And there are some friends you delete. And there are some friends you keep closer, depending on different categories. There are some things you do not do anymore. I mean, when you're single, you can decide to go to party when you like, come back home when you like. You can decide not to clean your house and live in the dirty house. That's your business. But the moment you're married, it's not just about you anymore. It's about two people coming together to be one, according to Genesis 2. And that takes me to the other one, not detaching from your parents. There are people who, even after they've gotten married, they are still attached to their family. The Bible says, and the man will leave, and that also happens to women. You will leave and be joined to the wife. But some people don't actually, they live physically, but emotionally, mentally, they are still attached to their parent. They are still attached to their family. Now, nobody is saying detach from your family and abandon your family. But when you are married, your priority, your first focus is your immediate marriage, immediate family, your wife, your children, when they come into play. There are people who, you say, before I can do anything, I need to ask my daddy. I need to speak to my mom. I need to speak to my uncle. I can't take out any loan. I cannot take out any money. I cannot make any decision on my own. I have to speak to daddy first. I have to speak to mommy first. So the other party begins to feel like, wait a minute, what's going on? Are you married to me or you're married to your parents? They begin to feel that sense of emotional detachment, and they don't feel they are really, really clinged with you. And the Bible says you shall cling to one another. So that also is another reason why that can come into play. Akomolede Naija, thank you for joining. Sayide Post, thanks for joining. Daddy Astro, God bless you. Thanks for joining. Victor Perry, thanks all for joining. The White Franca, Rich SS, thanks for joining. Stanley, Evangelist Mercy, thank you all for joining. Please let us share and let us like. Let us like to keep TikTok on, please. Another one is vision, which also has to do with a foundational thing. You have different purpose, you have different visions, you have different ideas. So you're not merging. When you have different purpose, I mean, yes, you have individual visions, individual plan of what you want to be in life, what you want to do with your life. But when you come together, there's also the joint one. But when the joint one is not there, or you've talked about the joint one, and the other party is like, oh yeah, I agree with you, but they have actually not agreed with you. It's all a lie. There's going to be a problem at the long run. Another one is lack of empathy, emotional detachment. The foundational thing that could bring that is because the foundation is wrong. So at some point, there is detachment. Detachment can also come because of stress at work, economical stress, financial stress can also bring detachment. And detachment will come into play even when there is lack of communication. So all these things are interwoven. Something will affect the other, and if care is not taken, it will expand. There is infidelity. Infidelity could be on the sexual part, which is also has to do with lack of respect. Not respecting yourself, not respecting your spouse will make you, dive into sexual infidelity. It could even be financial infidelity. Perhaps you've agreed that this is how you maybe to also put money together to pay the rent, and then somebody else is the one that's going to, buy the food in the house. And at some point, the other party pulls out, leaving only one person to have to pay the bill. I mean, if you're married, everything, it becomes not 1-1 anymore. When you're single, it's 1-1. When you get married, it's 1 becoming 2, or 2 becoming 1, rather. So if there's an agreement to certain things, but the agreement is not being kept, covenants are not being kept, then the other party that is at the receiving end begins to feel they are not in a marriage, they are struggling, they feel they are in a bondage, they feel lonely. And then they feel like, is it not better if I was a single woman? Is it not better if I am a single man? Would I not be better off? Sleeping in 2 different rooms. Somebody said that, but sleeping in different rooms could also bring some detachment. But at the same time, different homes are unique. I have people who sleep in different rooms, but they are still very committed to themselves. So sleeping in different rooms could be because of the children. Maybe the children are very young and they don't like to sleep on their own, and one of the parents sleeps with the child. At some point they might sleep off and then later on go to their room, or the wife's room or the husband's room. That happens. And there are people who probably, because maybe one of the partners snores a lot and is disturbing the other person, and that's not enough reason for divorce, but they now decide it will be better to have different rooms. Okay, but the different room is not something that is a permanent situation. You have your room, yes, but then they still meet, they still sleep together once in a while, but that is on a different level with an understanding. But when you are sleeping in 2 different rooms, like 2 total strangers, then you are strangers. Then what is the purpose? What is the beauty of marriage when you are like a stranger to each other? There is the silent treatment. That is the one I hate most. Silent treatment, lack of communication. You're trying to communicate, you're trying to talk to the other party, and they just give you the cold shoulder. Mr. Lagbaja, I'm talking to you now. Sweetheart, it's you I'm talking to. What? Just do what you like. I can't be bothered. And you begin to wonder, what's going on? What's going on? Or you send a text, they read the text, they ignore you, they don't answer you. It brings a lot of resentment. It makes you even lose your value. Your self-esteem is beginning to receive different blows. You don't feel comfortable even in your own skin. You don't want to even go home. You resent going home or wanting to be in the presence of this person. Because you're like, what's the purpose? What's the point of going home? What's the point of being with my husband or with my wife? I cannot even communicate. If I talk to him or her, he's just going to ignore me. And you get home after work, you don't spend time with each other. You're rather watching TV, playing game, or you're on your phone. Your wife is trying to talk to you. You cannot be bothered. Your husband is trying to have a chat, and you're just busy in your own world. Then you're making the other party to live a single life in their marriage. Marriage is beautiful. Marriage is sweet. If there is understanding, if the foundation is right, if you're out with the right person who is intentionally putting the work into it, it doesn't happen in one day, but if the other person is intentional and you are also intentional, putting the effort into it, marriage is beautiful. Thank you all for joining. Mama Cable, Oskino, GH, thank you all for joining. Flessy, thank you. Kofo, Flessy, Dion, Miran, I see you all. Thanks for joining. Please let us like. Only 13 likes, sis. Let us like more. Okay, I'm going to leave the floor open for a little bit, then I continue with my list. Anybody want to share a thought, an idea on being married and yet being single? On TikTok, on Facebook, anywhere at all? Daddy John, Big Chief, Mommy Sarah, Sister Betty. Married and yet single. Anybody wants to comment? Don't leave me to do all the talking tonight. Let's look at being mentally checked out. Wow. Mentally checked out. I mean, the person is in the marriage with you, but they are not with you. They are there physically in the house, but mentally they are detached from you. They are somewhere else. They are in another world. And you can feel it. Of course, you can feel it. You feel it from the way they respond, from the way they do things around the house, the way they communicate with you, things they used to do before they stop doing it. It's more or less like you don't exist. Because mentally, they don't even see you anymore. How painful it is. And the irony of this is that 50% of marriages are like that. It's so sad. It's so sad. 50% of marriages are like that. They are just there. They are just there. No bond. They are detached. It's so unbelievable. But these things can be rectified if we are willing to put the work in it. There is this common one which has to do with traveling. You're married, but your spouse is living in another country. You are married, but yet, to be honest, you are single. I mean, how can I say I'm married to my husband and my husband is living in America or in Nigeria? What kind of a marriage is that? There is no bonding. That works for some people, but the truth of it is that you're still going to feel very lonely. You're going to feel like you are not in the marriage. And we have a lot of that. That makes you feel like you are single. Sister Lovely, do you want to comment on the program? If you want to comment, you can unmute yourself.
I'm shouting, so no thanks.
All right then. You know, so if you want to amend, you can amend, but it has to be intentional. How do you enjoy marriage when you are in a far country? I don't know the people that do it. I don't know how they do it though. I won't see my husband. I mean, yeah, you can chat on the phone, but it's not the same. After the day's work, you want to come home to your husband, you want to come home to your wife. You don't want to go to bed, I mean, when your bed is cold. Nobody to ask you, are you okay? Did you hurt yourself? They could ask you that from a distance, but it's not the same. It's not, I mean, from the distance, you're more or less like reporting what happened. Oh, do you know what happened to me today? When I was in the kitchen, I banged my leg. Oh, sorry. I wish I was there to rub it for you. It's not the same thing like maybe you put your leg and say, and then your husband runs down like, what happened? And then helped you. Massage the leg for you, put ice block for you, you know, and make you feel loved. They are two different things. They are totally two different things. Lack of financial commitment is another one. I mean, I'm married to you, but yet I'm doing everything on my own financially. There are marriages where a lot of women are the one paying the rent. Sad to say. The man can't be bothered. The man is detached. But the woman wants to keep, I am married, the status, Mrs. So they just cope with it. Yes, they are living the life of a single woman. There are men like that too, but it's more common
on the
women's side. Yes, Brother John, come in, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir. Your volume up a bit.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I think I usually would tell people from experience that it's important we go for marriage counseling before getting into what we call marriage. Because I remember clearly when I and my wife, we were 7 years in courtship, we felt that we are, because marriage has to do with mental. We thought we were mental, we thought actually we are ready. So when we went for counseling, by the time we had done 6 months counseling, we just realized that we were never ready. We are not mentally set for this journey for marriage. Because we just felt that we should take this relationship to another level. Thinking that, I mean, once we are together now, family will just consummate it. So nobody can ask you now, you are now my own. I don't need to be waiting to see you again. That was what is in our mind. Freedom to have each other as we want and all those things were just ringing bell in our mind. By the time what marriage tells and everything now played out, we just realized, I think we really need to think about this thing. Are we really sure that we are ready to go into this? So a lot of people are going into it with the mindset that is another level of relationship. Now you see someone who comes from abroad, the girl and the family is accepting the marriage because, he lives in abroad. Maybe in their own mind, pretty soon the girl will go and join the man. And they don't even understand what is in the mind of the man in question, because the family say you must marry somebody from here. And they think that you just go at the backyard and you get papers, you get visa, you just go and join your husband. And they don't even know if the man is actually mentally said to be imprisoned by one woman as at that time. Now, you now see them getting married, and a young girl has never prepared. So she has always been doing boyfriend and girlfriend. She now felt, okay, I'm getting married now. And immediately after the marriage, and the man traveled 6 months, 1 year, he's not back. Of course, she's married spiritually and otherwise, but she seems that they say this is a married woman, but to herself, she's practically single. In fact, single people are even far
better than
her. That is it. So a lot of time, couples are not mentally prepared for
internet behavior. Come on now. Okay, before Brother John comes back, I just want to appreciate everyone for joining. Thank you, Sister Betty, Sister Tessie, Bok, Nwaman, and Ito J. Nice.
You hear me?
Royal Rose, thank you for joining. Yes, go
Can
on.
you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you now realize that a lot of people that actually fall into this victim of married but single are usually the women. From a abroad man coming to marry you, and you just realize that in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you're going to be single until whenever your document is ready, if at all the man wants your documents to be ready. And anytime the man comes back, all his plan is to get you pregnant. You just be multiplying at home, and whereas he lives his life as if he's not also married, because he knows
that is wickedness, though.
Because out there he's single. Out there, because we travel a lot, so we see a lot of them out there. They live their life as single men. They live their life as single men. So back home here, as soon as they arrive, they now tie you as a. So now anytime they are anytime they are back, you are married for 2 months and they go back, you are about single. You are single again. And even they are coming back, they are not actually coming back. They're moving here and here. You will not even have the opportunity to really enjoy the benefit of having full control of this person. So we should do more of proper counseling, so that when people are going into this marriage of a thing, they will go into it with the mindset that, look, because I believe that people should be cancelled. For instance, if it's an abroad person that is coming to seek your hand in marriage.
Oh, come on. The internet is playing up.
People should be cancelled towards that so that you know the implication of marrying someone who is abroad. Then you also know the implication of marrying somebody who lives in Enugu. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? You understand? So that people.
Oh, I think we'll have to come back to you. Sister Tessie, do you want to speak?
The implication of marrying someone who, if you made up your mind for both of you to live apart, you should also know the implication of that, of living. Then on the other way around, I don't. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Is there no better reception where you are at all?
I'm trying to battle. I'm battling with that. But I think I can hear you.
It's fluctuating. It's cracking up.
Wow.
Hello, John.
Can you?
How are you?
Brother John, do you want to find better network and then come back?
Okay.
Thank you. Do you have anybody else wants to comment?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
The big chief.
Yeah. I think this is a good topic. To me, personally, it boils down to two things. I've always said for months, economy, we don't think about economy, and love. Yeah. If you love somebody, a lot of things, your brain will compensate for it. It won't be a problem. That is one. Number two, economy. All these things we're saying about somebody living abroad, married, and it's the economy. Because the man too probably is looking for somebody to have children for him. The woman too have a selfishness. They want to marry abroad and run away. So all the men around, they did not see them. So it's true. It's true. It's true. I went to marry in back in Africa, and they were interviewing me in the church. I almost busted. My wife was begging me because she knew my mindset. They're asking me, what are you doing? What's your stay and the rest? So the men too are not stupid. The man knows that you, as I'm coming, you don't like me. So love is a strong thing. Somebody, if they love themselves, you will be scared of how the situation will balance itself. You won't even believe they have challenges.
True.
You won't believe they have such, because the real thing is that most people who get married just married because, okay, we have to fulfill societal duties or cultural duties. Yeah. So when they get married, then the tension starts because now they are facing themselves. And if you don't love somebody, you find yourself, you'll be sleeping with the person all your life. That's the challenge for yourself. So you can be in the same house talking, but the mind is gone. So economy is something we should put in the forefront. I think so, in my own view, because most of these things we talk about, the economic situation before you start, it's destroyed already. Because sometimes the man is marrying the woman because of her father is rich, or most times the woman is marrying the man because of his status is rich. He can take care of me, can take care of the family, can take care of the children. And as the economy changes, if something happens to the man and goes away,
becomes a problem.
Be taken off in front of you. How do you cope with this guy that was so good and powerful and nice? He's got the money to take care of the family. Now he has nothing. Sometimes you will even be the one with economic power. It changes again. You're to
So it's just what's happening to all your internets tonight. Big Chief, you've muted yourself. Big Chief, you have muted yourself. Okay, while we wait for Big Chief, anybody else wants to come in? Thanks for joining, Mommy. Okay, Kate. God bless you. Really good, man. I don't know his iPhone is that. Thanks for joining, iPhone. OB, thanks for joining. RK, Davina. Thank you.
Sorry, the line went.
You're back. You muted yourself.
The line went off. I was struggling there.
Ah,
So you find out that sometimes this guy that was so powerful, has a good job, and the rest is carrying everything, and the situation changes. Before you know, you came to be rescued. Now you're the one rescuing the other one. It's a different mindset altogether. So if you don't love yourself, it's a huge problem.
Hmm.
It's a huge problem. So I think that's my own 2 cents. I'll keep there.
But in such a situation, how do we help? How do we resolve the issue of love? There's nothing to resolve that. If you don't love the person, you don't love the person. But you can you can grow into love. People grow into love. That is where you become intentional. You're like, okay, now I didn't really love this person before I got him, but I don't want to get out. I don't want to be unmarried. Then and this person hasn't done anything wrong to me. Then you put your intention into it, and then before you know it, love begins to grow and begins to develop.
Daddy, at least want you to drop.
That is a very, very possibility. I've seen, I mean, there is a saying that says, I forgot how it's been put in Yoruba, but the message there is that the person you spend more time with is the person you come to fall in love with. So if you are with somebody and the person treats you right, there's a possibility of you falling in love with the person.
Yeah, the thing is, if you live in, it depends on the part of the world where you live and how your status is financially. If you have a guy that has a business, he spends his time in his business, he's going to fall in love with his customers. If you work in a place where you do 12-hour shifts, you spend more time there 5-6 days a week. You find out that the economic situation comes into play again. By the time you come home, you're broken, your energy is finished, you're managing. So it happens not to one person, it happens to many people. Many people. Sometimes it's the money that is the problem. The man is working away constantly to raise the money to have good quality of life. It takes him away. So there's no easy way out.
Wow, that's another one. For instance, somebody is a Navy officer or a military man, and he's been called to duty maybe for 1 year, 2 years. Within that 2 years, if the love between him and the wife is not a solid one, now there's 2 things: there's love in play and there's commitment in play. You may not have that deep love, that's strong love, but if you are somebody who is responsible and you are committed to the union, the love will then come in. The love for the person will increase, and you stay committed to your marriage, to whatever you're doing. But now there's no deep love, and then there's no commitment, and the man is out of the house for 6 months, for 1 year. A lot of things can happen. A lot of things can go wrong. And then the man will feel betrayed. The man will feel bitter. The man will be broken. And a lot of men have been damaged like that. And that will take me back to what Brother John said, that one needs to have a good understanding of what they are getting into. Not playing with words like, this is it. And if I have to go away for 1 year, can you honestly cope on your own? If I'm away for 6 months, can you cope? And I will not come back to an empty home one day. I will not come back to see you, gone, disappear, taking all my things, my children, and you're gone. Will you not stab me at the back before I come back? Can you cope? It's very, very important. It's very important. Anybody else wants to jump in?
Yeah, sometimes, sometimes the man that has gone out will not even come back home. If he's in the war, he might not come. That's the last side. I went for a project somewhere in West Africa. I won't call the name. The guy left his home, told everybody bye-bye and the rest. As I was joining the project, he was opening valve. The last valve pulled out. took out his whole face on the spot. The guy passed. So we don't even, these things are not simple conversations. We're just saying it nicely. Some people, as they're going, it's their last time. So you got to be careful with the person. Even the most rubbish woman, you got to treat her with love, because she might be going, it's her last time. You might be going, it's your last time.
Never see him or her again.
Treat everybody as it's your last day. Work with care, love, attention, and stuff like that.
Thank you very much, Big Chief. Brother John?
Yeah, just like what the Big Chief rightly said, you understand? Let me just say this, like for instance, somebody, I always tell people, I said, spend time to understand who your partner is, what your partner is into. Because if you are getting married to a military personnel, you should also understand the kind of job he or she does. If you are marrying someone who travels miles away, you should also understand the risk involved in that trip. So these are the things. That's why when I say good marriage counselors, because you are going to be taking round, not just, hey, I love the way military and all this thing. Do you also love the pain of the military? I love the way the army dress. Do you also love the pain of the military? I love because he lives in US. Will you also accept? Because there are some ladies, when you ask them, they will tell you, look, in normal conversation, they will tell you, look, they can't stand long relationship. A man or a woman who cannot stand long relationship is coming to marry and leave the man or leave the woman and travel far. Even in ordinary courtship, you can't even stand long distance relationship. So if you cannot stand long distance relationship, what now makes you feel you can stand long distance marriage? The answer is no. So you must build capacity. In as much as you are loving, love is good. It's why, because when you say, when you say that love grows, yes, your character can grow the love. It takes God. It takes love. It takes God by yourself and commitment and being intentional for you to be able to stake and stick your neck. And the man will just come pregnant you and go back again. He will just come anytime you are done. He will just come pregnant you. You are just manufacturing and you will just go. All through your 1 year while you are pregnant, he's not there. Anytime you are giving birth, he's not there. It takes grace of God. It takes strong love for a woman to stick to that. Because whether you like it or not, you are married, but practically you are single. You are just on
not
your
a
own.
life.
You understand? So that's why I say counseling is important, because you must be counseled so that understand if you have that kind of capacity to. Like for instance, I'm not a fan of separate rooms, no matter what. Even when my wife been giving birth to my kids, you can never put a baby in between both of us. That baby must lie down on the other side of the bed. That body contact is important. It will not. We have baby bed. That's why there is baby bed. Put the baby on the baby's bed. You understand? So all this mental, like for instance, my children went to go and visit someone to spend a holiday, and this one said, this is my daddy's room. This one said, this is my mommy's room. So when they came back, they were like, at this their age, they were asking why, because in our house there was nothing like mommy's room and daddy's room. So when they got somewhere, there was mommy's room and daddy's room. We were like, what does that mean to them? You understand? So, you see, if we have that, you now see that by the time she's getting into another marriage, she's creating that. Now, if you marry a man that is know that everything about the man, you must enjoy the snoring. Maybe that might be part of the reason why you are in love with it. Don't run away because of snore, because the snore will not, because you run away today, how long will you continue running away because of snoring?
Forever, because you can't sleep, you have to sleep.
Exactly. So just know that when you are loving a man, you are loving his error, loving everything together. If you are running away because the babies are crying, how will you support one another? All of us will go there. So that is it. So there's nothing like.
But then, having said that, our ability to bear and resilience is different. For example, my son said he was going to be a doctor, but he cannot stand blood. So I told him, you cannot be a doctor. You're going to be a blood doctor. You cannot be a doctor without blood. Do you understand? So whether it's not just about what I like, but my body cannot stand it. I can't stand it.
Yeah, exactly.
For instance, for somebody who's got body odor, and the partner is somebody who is very sensitive with smell. I don't know how they got married in the first place, but
yeah,
this person cannot stand the smell. It's either he's going to cook, you're going to throw up, you're going to be sick. There's nothing to manage in that one. I don't know if you get it. So there has to be a way around it. If we can find medical help, then there must be a way we can still live with each other.
Yeah, that is where perfume comes in.
Brother, when you are being with two people, I mean, I used to have one of my dancers in Overcomers has body smell, no soap, no perfume, nothing is working.
You see, that is from childbirth, but the man is aware, the spouse is aware.
Before you marry.
Before, so that is the smell that brought two of them together. So you can, after you have gotten married, you are not complaining because something must bring somebody together. Probably you are in love with the aroma because you have
not. Holy Ghost fire.
Because you can't get married and you start complaining. I believe that you are aware that it smells because it's not packaging.
Yeah, I'm just using that as an example that if
so you can now after you start complaining.
Well, I mean, of course, when things are beginning to go wrong in a relationship, you begin to find excuses. And that is when you remember she used to know, he smells, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, but you're all aware of that before you got married. But because you're looking for a way out, all these excuses come up. That is
exactly.
Let's look at being ashamed of each other. I think that comes into play. There are couples who are ashamed of themselves. I mean, they want to go to party, they cannot go with their wife. They want to go to a function. I'm sorry, husband. They might end up going to the same party, but they'll go at different times, and they will not live at the same time. And they live in the same house, their husband and wife.
It depends on the party. It depends on the party. Now, some parties, birthday and anniversary, or you go together. But if the man is a jagaban and he drinks in a different level and is happier, he wants to be on his own. It's a simple thing. Or you go to the pub. You see, it doesn't matter the color of the man. Most of the men are alone. That is their happy hour.
Yeah, but
they don't want somebody.
Yeah, you know.
They don't want somebody. They don't want somebody to be counting the beer. You have drank 4 bottles. Can you drive? No. Just leave me alone. Let it be a jagaban there. In short, it's running away from that correction.
That's a different one, Big Chief. That's a different one entirely. We're looking at, I mean, maybe a family wedding and events, you know.
No, you go together, that one.
But there are people who would not because they are embarrassed, like, how can they see me and you working together? What's that? My friend, I'll come and meet you. I don't know. I have a question mark for such a marriage. I have a big question mark for such a marriage.
The thing is this, such marriage, there is always a purpose. You know, the Bible says for this purpose, a man shall leave his mother and father. There's always a reason behind. Now, the question is this, what was the reason? Probably they ask you to marry this person because once you touch them, you go get belly. So you just be having children for me, but you are not good to be taken out. Probably
that is enslavement.
There are people that enjoy that.
That is not fair. Like the other example you gave, that people will be in abroad, they'll come to Nigeria, impregnate the woman, abandon them there, and then go back. That is imprisonment. That is enslavement. That is evil. That is wizardry. That is
but most times the women are enjoying it because he comes back and he give her another car, give her some dollars. She's happy that the man is back.
The man go back. Is also into infidelity. Let me not use the word on this program. Their head out is close together. On a serious note.
No, see,
and then you go and sit down somewhere.
See, married and still single is a personal decision.
For some people, not everybody.
You understand? To some people, it's personal decision. Some people, they are into it unknowing to them.
Mm.
There are some people that are married, but they're actually single. To them, they in their mind, they're married, but to their spouse, they are on their own.
It's too much. Sister Betty says, why would you marry a man or a woman with body odor? I'll now say you can't sleep in the same room with him. Is the person seriously serious?
That's my point.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not seriously serious. CCC on TikTok. Do you want to speak, ma? Albert Parish 1. CC Albert, do you want to comment on today's topic, married but single? Mommy Antonia, I see you, I sight you. Good evening, ma.
Long and short of the thing is, I've said
good evening.
two things again. Okay.
Good evening, ma. Mommy Antonia. God bless you, ma. That's ètò alẹ́ yìí, married and single. Kí tẹ̀ ṣe hùn?
His experience.
That's a very serious topic. That's very deep. That's very deep because he goes into so many areas. The first thing is why. Why?
Don't stop laughing. Mute yourself.
What's the cause? What's the reason? Why are you married and you're still single? That speaks volume. It means there is something very, very, very wrong with that relationship, with that marriage itself. Is there any marriage? Is there anything called marriage? Is the marriage has it got to a stage where it cannot be reconciled? What has been done to actually bring the two parties back? And like my brother said earlier on, counseling is very, very paramount. These days we hardly do, but I think the younger generation are the one benefiting from it, and I will, I'll be one of those who will champion that. We should encourage our younger ones, our children, or those who are, been there. Even if you've been married before, and you want, before you say I do again, go for counseling. It is very important because Yoruba adage will say amokun ẹrù ẹ̀wọ̀ ẹrù yẹn wọ́ from the grassroots. Did you actually check properly? Is this the right person? Are we compatible? Can I, like my brother said earlier on, his ways, is he something that, I can bear for the rest of my life? Or is it something that I can't? If the I can't overweighs the I can, then there's no point going into it. But I think my generation, I think we look at we don't even look at that, but thank God that, there is a lot of information and opportunities and for us to actually establish that we don't enter into something that we're going to, break. Like my pastor will say, broken engagement is better than a broken marriage. Because by the time you get to that stage, that one is you are married but you are single, that is critical.
But mommy, how do we handle the fact that maybe 50-60% of marriages are living like that? And should they continue to live like that?
If you look at that higher percentage of marriages that are living like that, they are more of the older generation rather than the younger generation. Because the older generation, we now look at, is marriage of convenience, marriage of tolerance. We're just tolerating each other. There is no love there. And we don't want to live because of the stigma. What would people say? This young generation, they haven't got time for that. If it's not working, they're out. That is why we will have so many single mothers or single parents. It could be the opposite, it could be the men, being with the children or the woman being with the children. But our generation will rather stick with it. Unless if there is violence. Yeah, unless if there is violence, that's when we might decide, what? The percentage of people that will stay in a violence relationship in our generation is very small. Well, I won't say small, it's quite high, but unless when there is violence, there is really serious violence, even if you want to remain there, if your families get to know, they will tell you, we will come there and pack your things out. Yeah. But mostly our generation is like, we'll be married for God knows how long, so why am I just going to leave? Then it becomes, marriage of tolerance. We're just tolerating each other, or we're just living as neighbors. Because then by the time it gets to married and being single, then there is no love there anymore. That is my view, though. If we are just like cohabiting, then there is no love. They were just living as, keeping up the appearances. That's what it becomes. When it gets to that stage. But what can we do? Counseling might, to be honest, it might, but in most cases it doesn't, because by the time you decide to seek for counseling, you've written each other off anyway, honestly speaking, because the emotions have been destroyed to the point of no return, because you just think, for the things you said to me, or the names you've called me, for the things you have failed to do, for the things that you think you should not be doing, that I should be doing.
And resentment.
So many things would have been destroyed. It's only God's intervention. But even then, when we say God's intervention, how can you mold maybe a 50-year-old or 55-year-old and say, okay, let's go for counseling, then we're going to, hopefully I'll change my ways. They've already formed their character. The character is already formed. So nobody can now come and say, you have to stop, you have to start giving your wife money. The money that you have not given her for the past, God knows how many years. So how are you going to mold that person? How will counseling help that person? Because they're set in their ways. And if the husband is one that believes, oh, if I give you £100, I'm sure you don't buy food worth of £50. All you do is you just keep the money, or you use it to buy hair tie, or you use it to buy jewelry. So why are you going to tell that man, okay, let's go for counseling and start giving me £100? He will tell me, better go jump in the lake. I'm not giving you none of my money. Or if you buy anything, bring receipt. Let me see what you've bought. So at the age of 55, why am I going to subject myself to that kind of lifestyle that when I get to the meat man, I'll ask him for receipt to come and show my husband that, yes, that's how much I bought. If I buy plum, or if I buy bowl of fruit, I'm going to ask somebody to give me receipt, or unless I go to Asda or Tesco where I can actually have receipt, so that he wants to make sure that all that money adds up. So that's what I meant by the time one gets to married, living as single, I'm telling you, things have been destroyed. We've destroyed each other beyond recognition. So no amount of counseling will help. But if it's the younger ones, well, there's still hope. They can still go for counseling, and counseling can restore to some extent, depending on how bad the situation is. But for our generation, please, just continue to live like that too.
Oh no.
Until or you go your separate ways. Finish. There's no point living together then, if you are that old. Because it means relationship becomes the one that we're tolerating each other, or we're living as co-tenants. Yeah. But even then, there's some that is being destroyed, that you don't even want to share the same roof. But you don't want to go through all the hassle of being divorced. I'm not going to divorce. So let's just part ways. So yes, Abeni, I'm still like Mrs. Lagbaja, but I'm not with Mr. Lagbaja.
You are emotionally detached. You are not there
at all. Yeah, like one of the worldly songs, you abandon me. There is no love here anymore.
But I believe even, mommy, everything you have said is 100% right. Especially when one is, reached a certain age. Only you break it. A dry fish cannot be bent. It will break in the process because it's dry. But I believe in intention, and this is what I say as one of the solutions. Being intentional, and then self-development. As we go on in life, if we try to improve ourselves on a daily basis, it will help a lot. Not to be, in one sport. We've talked about counseling, therapy, personal growth, individual growth, interests, aspiration, while maintaining strong connection. But then it also, number one is, do you want this thing?
Exactly.
If you want it, then you can decide you want to find
desire is crushed.
Yes. But if you want it, then you can say, okay, let's give it another try. Let's give another push. Let's try counseling. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'll work on myself. I know I'm not perfect. I'm going to try. I'm going to be more responsible, committed, and all that. And for people where they're having problem has to do with maybe one person is the one dealing with the finances in the house, and one person is ignoring it. You can decide, okay, I want to be sharing responsibilities in the house, household chores, childcare, financial responsibility. I want to, contribute my quota. And but that is a bit difficult for a lot of African men who believe, I mean, I put the money on the table, that's it, I'm done. You have to do the rest. And a lot of women like that, they struggle, they feel lonely, they feel empty. And with time, resentment builds. A lot of men don't know, but it builds. And then when the woman lashes out and explodes, you're like, what happened? When did this start? What did? And then the next thing a man will think is, maybe she's seeing somebody else. But not realizing resentment has been building over the years. So shared responsibility matters. Even support the man financially as you can if it is needed. Some men will tell you, a woman cannot pay my rent for me. They will hand you that. But the funniest thing is when you see men that are, what's the word now? Who do these things, who look after the home financially, they are the ones that are very, 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 very egocentric. Sorry to say, but that is the truth. I've come to see that a lot, especially when they are 50 upward. When it comes to financial responsibility, they are very, very good in doing that. They will tell you how much is your this, okay, I'll give you half. How much is that one? Okay, I'll pay for it. Don't worry, I've sorted the rent, I've sorted the bill. But these are the ones who want to imprison you, who want to dictate, don't go to this place, don't do this, you have to sit down, you have to listen to me, you have to be submissive, you cannot do this. So it's like no win game here. But then, it is possible if we want it to be possible. It is possible if we decide to be a better person. And to be a better person takes baby steps. I do all those teachings every 2 weeks, and sometimes I do more than that in different places. But the more I do this teaching, the more I'm also teaching myself. I'm working on myself. Baby steps. And then celebrate every little win. And where you have not won, learn from your mistake, bounce back, and just keep moving. You cannot stay put. You have to keep moving. So as sweet as marriage is, it will come with these challenges. And that is why the foundation is important. Like what Big Chief said, love. When you love somebody wholeheartedly, there's so many things you will see that this is not wrong. This is wrong. This is not really right. But you will just like, it doesn't matter. Even when the person gets angry and shouts or does something like, is it that just little shouts? It's not a big deal. Because while you are committed to marriage, you are committed to the person. And you love the person genuinely wholeheartedly. Even if the person is snoring or has a body odor, you don't smell it, you don't see it. And if by you're human, these things come, you're able to bounce it off quickly and like, oh, my dear, let's go for a shower. The way you say it, the person will not feel so terrible about themselves. Let's just go for a shower. Automatically, the person gets the message. Because why? They know themselves as well. But it takes intention, it takes commitment, it takes willingness. Also to be able to undo, relearn. I keep saying it. There's so many things we've learned from where we're coming from our parents, from our community, and all that, which as we develop, especially when you have personal growth, or you from the place you work, people you miss with, you're like, oh, they are doing this in a different way, and it's beautiful. You can learn what you've learned and learn that new thing. It's possible. Copy what is good. Copy what is right, what is holy, what is pure, what is loving. You see a couple, they are glowing, the wife is glowing, the husband is smiling, you can see joy radiating around them. And of course, maybe you want that. Oh, wow. Then find out what is the secret of their joy. They don't even need to tell you we're happy. You can see joy radiating. I mean, if you see a happy man, a happy woman, it's not too difficult to know. Forget the makeup. You can tell. And then you want to find out what is the secret. And then if that is what they're doing, no woman can tell me that. My husband cannot control me. But if that is what works for them, why don't you give it a try? Maybe it will work for you as well. And let's leave ego, let's leave me, never. Stubbornness, it can never, we have to learn to change. Let me say something. Whether we like it or not, there is a time where, whether you are married or you are not married, there is a time of loneliness. But situations will happen. Your children will grow and they will go away. You'll be left on your own. But for those that are married, they have each other. I think it was a couple of days ago, I was just driving and it just hit me that, oh, wow. One of my boys in uni, the other one, so in the next 2 years, he's going to be going to uni. It's going to be gone. My two boys are not going to be with me like that. I mean, it's going to be, Mom, hello, hi. When are you coming? I'm not like that. I'm like, when are you coming home? Are you coming this way? Oh, no, I'm busy. Oh, no, this and this. And I have to go to work. And I have studies. I say, hey, so I'm begging to see my son now. Whether we like, if you have 10 children, they will all go. Now they'll be visiting you. Are we thinking about that time? Retirement stage, old age. Now, all these things we are doing, freaky, I will not go here, I will not go green. No way, you can't do this, you can't do that. All this stubbornness, it will hit us when we get to that stage. You will understand what is called loneliness. If you like, work hard, keep yourself busy, work for 22 hours. The remaining 2 hours left in the day, that loneliness will hit you. So if you still have that man in your life, you have that woman in your life, do your best to make it work before it's too late. Do your best to make it work before it's too late. Reevaluate your priorities. Rekindle intimacy. Schedule regular dates. Rekindle that fire, that love. Go back to the drawing board where you were doing I love you, I love you. Be responsible to yourself, to your family. Bring back that emotional connection. Open communication will help with that. Caring will help with that. Showing empathy will help with that. It takes hard work, but it is not impossible. Mommy Elbete, can you speak where you are, man? Give us a word of encouragement, man. Wasi Banjogo, thank you so much. I see all your likes. Thank you, really good. Ruthie, thanks for joining. Annie, Oli, Jidanem, Justice, Ade, Esther, Gladys, Elinor Frederick, Elinino, TJ, Mackenzie K, Mommy Dolly, Mulder, thanks for joining. Mulder, do you want to say a word before we wrap it up for the night? Mommy Elbertel, okay, I think she can't speak where she is. Abigail, Olawale, thank you all for joining for tonight. Sister Tessie, Mommy Sarah Bobade, Sister Betty on Facebook. Everyone, God bless you. I think we're going to wrap tonight's topic. Brother John, thank you all for joining. It is difficult, but it is possible. But then, this is not something I like to say. I can't hear you, Mulder. You need to join on the video. Let me invite you. Okay. Hiya. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
No, as much as I joined late, but I basically agree with everything you said. Lonesomeness can be a very difficult thing as we get older. To be honest, there was a time I didn't understand what it meant. of loneliness. But I never felt it. I like my own company, especially somebody like me who was brought up as an only child. So I was used to my own company. But yes, I do agree. Sometimes you need somebody to talk with, somebody to relate to, somebody to reason with. It could be that one person who will say, "Oh, better go and check yourself out. This sounds unusual." So, having company can do for one. Sometimes all companies are not compatible. They find that out much, much later in life. Okay? Because all the while you've been busy, rushing from A to B, shuffling cards, and trying to bring up children, trying to earn a living, put bread and butter on the table, that you really focus on your partner. And sometimes it becomes, too monotonous, and you want to look outside and see what's out there. I don't mean in terms of infidelity. But also you kind of get bored with the person that you've been with all the time.
It does happen, yeah.
It's what Christians may call temptation.
It does happen.
What I learned in life is not how you started, is how you are in the afternoon. You may start and be head over heels about somebody. Love the person absolutely and truly. But love comes and goes. The thing is, how do you maintain it? A car you bought brand new is not going to be the same after 6 months. After 6 years, sorry. And neither will it be the same after 12 years. There will always be a difference. But you have to learn to maintain that vehicle. Okay? Provide the services. Okay? At the end of the day, no two people are the same. Even twins do argue. Okay? But there should be a level of tolerance, a level of give and take. And never look down on anybody simply because that person has been with you for such a long time.
Don't take them for granted.
So I can only say so much, for somebody who joined very late. But
yeah, the topic was being married. The topic is married and single.
Oh,
you are married, but yet you are single. Yes.
There's a void in your life that makes you feel that way. Something is lacking. You may have somebody married who is there with you. But, we hear stories of people who do not really care about their partner. And there's one lovely story about my teacher. When he had a stroke, I was here. I will send a little bit I had to him. His wife never really cared. Luckily, he recovered. All his body is functioning well. But guess what? The wife is now the person who is sick.
The table has turned.
Yes. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant. But, you can't help but wish that people will learn 1 or 2 lessons from that. Okay? My teacher lost his hearing. He lost his speech. He recovered all that. He drives now. It's like somebody who was never ill. Today, it's the same wife who abandoned him. And now the children have all grown and left home, scattered all over Nigeria, okay, in pursuit of
their own life.
The 2 of them are now stuck together. Okay? And I find myself encouraging my former teacher, saying, look, don't ever do what she did to you. You don't know why God has turned it around. And doing his best, I must applaud him. And this is a lesson that I witnessed, man. Okay. I wouldn't say eyewitness, but I knew when it was happening. I knew when my teacher had a stroke. I knew how I had to contribute in looking after him. Okay? Even sometimes I'll be tempted to ask them, say hello to the wife and say, oh, you guys are trying. How is it today? Oh, he's there. Ask his daughter. Ask his son.
Oh, wow.
Children. Okay? You know, we can only hope and pray that she has learned from it. Not only her, other people who have witnessed
Around them.
you know, have learned from it. You know, but there's nothing as bad as being in a house but you feel that you're alone. It's not just that feeling of being that you're alone, feeling that you are now living with a stranger. That's the person you knew is no longer that person. Where do you start? You know, there's an African saying that you don't start learning to be left-handed, you know, in your old age. That's what it's like. Somebody you thought that you knew, start seeing what they say, her or his true color. Okay? It's not a very nice thing. So when people find themselves in that situation, you hear them saying, look, do you know what? I don't mind being alone. This is not what I want. This is not what I anticipated. It was never like this. You know, but again, is loneliness an option? Not necessarily. But some people will say, well, rather than live with an enemy, I might as well be on my own. Well, what I'm saying is not a conclusion, it's just a line of thoughts. I'm sure everybody will have their opinion on that. You know? Thank you for the opportunity. I'm sorry I joined late.
Thank you for your contribution. God bless you, Veronica. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, that was direct on point, and the story of your teacher, that was on point. And I really pray everybody listening heard and could learn one or two things from that. The people in your life, no matter who they are, you know, do not take them for granted. Do your best. You never know when you might need their help as well. You never know. You never know. You never know. Treat everybody right. And even if they pay you evil for good, let God be the judge. Let God be the judge of that.
Yes.
Let God be the judge of that. Anybody else wants to add to tonight's topic before we wrap it up? On Facebook, on TikTok, on Zoom. Being married and single, it's a terrible state. It's if you feel miserable, and it's a life of deceit. Number one, you're deceiving yourself that you're happy. Now everybody out there looking at you people, you're also deceiving them like you have a home, you don't have a home, you don't have a marriage. Now, am I saying give up, run away? No, fight for it, do your best. But when your sanity, your health, your mental health is at risk, please look for the exit door. Find another way out. For instance, if you are, you're the one paying all your bills yourself, you're looking after your children yourself, you're clothing yourself, you're doing everything for yourself. And the only thing the man contributes to your lives is being in bed with you. I do not see the purpose of that. It doesn't make sense to me. And if what the woman also brings to your life, some women don't even make food for their husbands anymore. There are a lot of stories like that. It's so sad. They are not interested. They don't want to be there. But they are there, probably because the man is paying rent. So they want to live in a free house. So they just stay there. And this is paying my rent. Let him stay there. Let me be doing my life. It's just pure wickedness. If somebody is being wicked to you, being evil to you, it's not until they call somebody a witch or a wizard. There are actions and things we do that is no different from being a witch or a wizardry. So why would you keep keeping your life into the hands of such wicked people? You need to look for plan B. Like a school of thought, Brother Mika said, is it not better to be on your own and be happy than to be in bondage? While you're in the marriage and you're thinking of, I don't want to be on my own at old age, but you're actually on your own anyway. You're married. Yes, everybody believes you're married, but you are on your own in the marriage. What they call intimacy is not there. You are married, but you are very, very lonely in your marriage. And you do not have peace of mind. Let us not go to our grave before our time. May the Lord help us all. It is deeper than what we have said. It is deeper than the discussion. But I pray that with the little talking, some people can gain wisdom. Some people will be encouraged, and then some homes will be healed in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Until we see in 2 weeks' time, I love you all. Stay strong. Keep loving. Keep striving. Do not give up. It's challenging. It's tough out there, but we cannot give up. And let us not forget the next generation. The next generation, they are watching us. They are watching. Thank you, Mommy Elbete. God bless you, ma. Good night, everyone, and God bless. On TikTok, thank you. Love you all. Thanks for liking, even though I did not get any gifts. God bless you. Bye.